What's going on, guys? This is the CEO of Shane Taylor Promotions and the baddest of all time. You are listening to the Straight Up Wrestling Podcast.
Five, four, three, two, one, zero. All engine running. Liftoff.
I'm a lion in the jungle. I'm a lion in the jungle. I'm a lion in the jungle.
This is Straight Up a Wrestling Podcast. And this ain't just like any other show. This is the baddest show. I'm sitting here with none other than himself, the baddest man walking the planet today. They're not lies, people. They're facts. All you got to do is check him out. He's here now. It's just Shane Taylor, people. How are you, Shane?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad we could finally get at this schedule. I know it's been a crazy few weeks. I hope all is well with the family. Yeah, man. The wrestling world's going crazy right now.
Wrestling world is blown. Wrestling world is blown. Wow. You know, I'm one of these people myself that I steer away from dirt sheets and I stay away from hearsay, and until I hear it from the horse's mouths,
Right.
I don't believe shit, you know. And I got woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning the other morning, and my friend of mine, and she sends me this message, and she goes, "Dude," she said, "is this real?" I'm like, what are you asking me for? And I'm like, she goes, "Yeah, but you're going to sit down with Shane." I said, "Hey, so you're showing that to me, and that doesn't look like something that's just fallen off. You know what I mean? The dirt sheet." And I was like, "Oh my God."
Right. I mean, as upsetting. No, it's not upsetting. It's disappointing because you have so many talented men and women in that locker room who have absolutely busted their ass for the past few years to dig ourselves out of a hole that the talent didn't create. You know what I mean? And so even with that, it seemed like no matter what we were doing, dirt we just kept getting tossed on us. You know what I mean? We'd crawl, reach the top, boom. You know what I mean? Crawl, reach the top, boom. And then it's like, yo, there's steps that we can take to help, you know, carve out steps in this hole, or bring a ladder down in this hole and help this, and just none of it ended up being used or, you know, or executed the way that it was explained. And so you get, you know, you have the situation that we have. So it's disappointing knowing how much passion, how much effort, how much blood, sweat, and tears have, you know, gone into these past few years to truly put the focus back on ROH. And what's really disappointing is we felt like we were on an upswing. You know what I mean?
I was going to say that. I mean,
like we had turned the corner, and all we were waiting to do was really start to get fans back and start going back on the road. You know what I mean? And even the events that we had with fans there were absolutely amazing shows. The crowds were going nuts. So for us, it was like, all right, here we go. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a crazy time.
Wow. I mean, for me, I mean, I don't put myself as a guy that's, you know, I'm not a WWE guy, I'm not an AEW guy, I'm not an ROH guy, I'm a wrestling guy.
Right.
That's exactly what I am. I mean, you don't want to see any businesses, you know, anyone struggle, you know, like you say, it's lives. You know, you start with nothing in wrestling, and you aim to leave with something, you know?
Right.
A half-filled dream to you guys who bust your asses to get to the top.
Right.
You know, like you say, you do it or you die trying type of thing. You
Basically.
know? And I looked at that and I was like, wow. That for me was hard to take because, I mean, I started, in 2002 when ROH started the same time as TNA.
Right.
And then, it went from 2002 to 2004, another takeover. Then it was taken over again in 2011.
Right.
Yeah, I think people forget that the business that you see today wouldn't be where it is today without ROH,
And it's and for a long time on social media, the trend was to shit on ROH. Like that was the popular thing to do because this new shiny thing popped up. And what people just seem like what wrestling fans know, but what a lot of just, I guess, casual fans don't realize is damn near every top star you see in every American company has Ring of Honor ties or was a Ring of Honor original. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have the CM Punks, you wouldn't have the Seth Rollins, you wouldn't have, the Bucks, you wouldn't have, all of these people. Yes, they'd all be successful in their own rights, but that is where their platforms were created. You know what I mean?
They came through that academy.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? So Ring of Honor, I feel as though it's bittersweet, right? Because you don't like to see something like this happen, but at the same time, I feel like finally it's one of those you don't know what you got till it's gone things. And Ring of Honor has left an undeniable blueprint, an undeniable fingerprint on this industry. And I feel as though that's going to be its lasting legacy is a place that launched greatness, is a place that, talent could come and hone their craft and become stars. I'm obviously there's a lot of unfulfilled goals that I had with ROH, but they were the first to give me a chance, and even when things looked dark, took a chance on me and the guys. Not everybody, because a lot of people were against it, you know what I mean? But I had enough people there that were able to trust in me to create something special. That's what we got in Shane Taylor Promotions, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface of what that can be. Not, you know what I mean? Not just to wrestling, but to our entire, this entire community, not just to one company. So I'm looking forward to what the new year brings. A lot of opportunity out there. I've already made some calls. I've already had some calls. So we're going to make sure that come the beginning of the year, we get everybody's attention.
Sir, and you will. You will. I mean, I got the pleasure of sitting down with you last year. And right then it was yourself, Khan, and Moses. In came O'Shea Edwards. And I mean, I never spoke to you, but I mean, that was a guy I was looking at on the indies. And I was like, wow. This guy's a bad man. He's a bad man. And then you came in the Reverend. And dude, I look at him and I listen to him. And I listen to him.
Right.
And when he speaks, you see the whole picture. You're never mind Roman Reigns' head of the table. You're the head of any table you sit at.
I mean, and that's really kind of been the focus, and that's been the overall message is, and it goes past just who I am and what wrestling is, but it speaks to a bigger picture, not just in life, but especially in the Black community. It's stop waiting for someone else to give you a seat at their table. Go make your shit. You know what I mean? Go take your shit. Go create your own. Go be your own boss. Go do what you want to do. Find like-minded people that will go as hard for you as you go for them and make something happen. And that's exactly what the spirit of STP is. And actually, when I started it it was me and Rev first. You know, Rev is the VP, he's the COO. And so then we went and got Con and Moses, and then we got O'Shea. And in talking with all of them, sitting down with them, seeing who they were as people, what their goals were, personally, professionally, business-wise, what they wanted to accomplish, what they wanted to have and get out of wrestling. The more we talked, the more we all realized we all thought the same.
Mhm.
And synergy is everything in a team, right?
That's it.
And when you have people who are all on the same page, want the same goals, don't care who takes the shot, as long as that bitch goes in, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
are so unselfish about their success and only want what's best for the team. You have a recipe for greatness. You know what I mean? That's what builds legacies, and that's exactly what we have here. You know what I mean? And the funny part about it is, you know, I'm seeing online, you know, people like, well, this company would be too scared to bring them in. This company would be too scared to bring them in. I go, we live in a day and age where you have to push the envelope to bring these eyes in.
Walking.
Right. You don't walk in. Like there's like we are now in a position where other people are seeing us and going, "Ooh, all right, here we go." You know what I mean? So we're gonna create some waves, and we are definitely what's missing from a lot of places. That attitude, that fire, that that no nonsense perspective from a different face, from a different set of eyes, from a different community. We are that representation, and we feel as though we do it very well. So we are looking forward to any and all chances and competition. There's a few people that I have on my list right now that I can't wait to get in the ring with, or at least stand across the ring from. You know what I mean? After all these years, and go, you know what I mean? Just be like, yeah, I bet you didn't think you'd see me again.
Shit, like you say, it's a sad state of affairs,
Right.
And a lot of people have built and cemented their next chapter, and rightfully so. Some will struggle to get to that, you know, and you know, that type of thing. And it's sad, but you can't help but look at it and go, this is going to be some fantasy shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's gonna be wild. You know what I mean? I like it though, because for me, my entire crew operates best when we have a point to prove and a chip on our shoulder. And being the captain of the team, that starts with me, you know, and leadership always starts at the top. So I set that tone, and everybody follows suit and pushes it even further. So wherever we go, wherever we end up, the goal is to be all there together, to walk in together, and make a statement the very first night that this is no longer business as usual. However long,
Wrestle Kingdom.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I would mark out, dude, if I see you walk out and slap a Carter in the face.
A lot of things are up in the air right now, but the main thing is, I don't care how long you've been wherever you're at. That was your time to cement your spot. That was your time to cement your legacy. That was your time to cement your main event. That was your time to be the guy, because in about, 60 days or so, it's going to be, time is up. You know what I mean? Because we're coming for everybody, and we're coming for everything.
Weird, I should say, New Japan there, because there was I think a couple of months down the line where you did a tweet and you mentioned New Japan in it, and I was sat with a friend of mine, and my friend of mine goes, "What are you grinning at?" You look sitting there like a Cheshire cat. I said, "I don't know." I said, "I can't say anything," but I said, I never see this man drop another company's name in anything. And then that came out the other day, and someone else said to me, "What are you thinking now?" I said, "I don't know what I'm thinking, but I like the way I'm trying to think."
Right,
You know, but I
right.
said, listen, I said, and this is how I say it: wherever you guys go, it's only going to get bigger.
Right.
You know, you've already, made yourself in the industry. You know, you walk the walk, you talk the talk. Now it's time to see if others can, stand with you.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and that's the interesting thing about this sport is you're gonna have two ways of thinking, right? The majority of people, when you deal, especially when you're dealing with African American talent, most people enjoy and are comfortable with the docile, very calm, very polite, very non-threatening individuals, right? It's easier for them to deal with. They don't feel as nervous. They're able to say what they want more, kind of take advantage of the situation more. And then you have individuals like me and my guys, you know what I mean, who are very professional, are willing to work with whoever, do whatever needs to be done, and are absolute soldiers when it comes to the success of any company that we're in. But you're not going to just talk to us any kind of way. You're not just going to make us look any kind of way. You're not going to, present us any kind of way, because we know who and what we're doing this for. We know what our mission is. We know what we want this representation to look like, and we want people to respect that. So that's going to be very important to us going forward, is to be able to maintain that and showcase what we believe is the change that is necessary, not only in just a lot of companies but in the sport in general. So we're looking forward to it.
That's it. I mean, there's it's onwards and upwards. Like you say, you're black men, black African men, and it's time. The world needs to change. It ain't the color of your skin that needs to change. It's the negativity. It's the, and like you say, seeing what you guys do in ROH. It's the same with Bandito and the Mexicans. It is that, standing as a unit, standing as nationals, and no matter what color your skin is,
right.
And I just think that is something that
absolutely
not just from a wrestling point of view, but from a young African male growing up. He sees you, and he doesn't have to be afraid. You've got a voice, you've got opinion, and it's walking with a purpose, but it's
absolutely
doing things the right way.
Absolutely, and that's what kind of seems funny to me about a lot of things is pride in your culture is celebrated just about everywhere else, and then when it comes to us, people start to get nervous, and that's where I correct them. I go, no. If you have no problem with anybody celebrating being British or Irish or any other thing, right? Us celebrating who we are and being proud of that should not make you nervous. If it does, that's not our problem. That's something you have to look at yourself and see why that makes you nervous, right?
Exactly. That's what I say. If you get nervous about something, and that's something that has been created, and know it, but you're tiptoeing around it. It's that tone in your voice goes all funny, and you just,
you start to get nervous and look around and sweating now, hands all clammy, you know what I mean? And it's just like, no, man, what are you so nervous about?
Into your teeth.
Right. You know what I mean? Get the dry mouth, like
That's it. That's it. That's exactly what that is.
Mm.
It's weird because I mean, when this interview's been set up for a while, a few stopping blocks and that, but for a while I was just like, what do I say to Shane? I mean, we know where you're from in Cleveland. We know you're a proud man. Growing up, we know you're a family man. ROH, hey, dude, you outbuild. You know this last chapter. It ain't ended in the right way. But I mean, them saying that the doors will open again in April.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know where I stand on stuff like that because I look at it and I think, unless you've really got a plan up your sleeve, and you're
right.
gonna be the promotion. New Japan walks out in the US, and it's something to do with that. I don't know, but I just look at it and I think you've got a plan for the future, but you got a plan for the future fucking months ago.
You could have planned for the future years ago.
Yeah, but that's it, you know.
You know what I mean? And that's
You know,
and again, it's
you are
frustrating
not
to
gonna get your rare talent you have now,
brother. And this is what I liken it to, right? This is the frustrating part. Imagine a football team, right? Imagine a club where you had Messi, you had, you know,
New England Patriots with Brady.
right. No. You have Messi, you have Ronaldo, you've got every top star that you can think of, right? You have this incredible array of talent, but the coaching and the management is just off. You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, okay. Like it's like your talent can only do so much. They can only put their bodies through so much. They can only help guide the ship so much. You have to put people in positions to be successful. That's how you create successful teams.
Do you not think? I mean, you've hit the nail on the head there. And like I said, I'm here to talk about you. But I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, and I've looked at this for a long time. This is a huge thing in the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people hiring people that shouldn't be sitting in a seat. You know, I want to know why where the guys like Carino and, you know, all these guys that knew wrestling,
they found jobs elsewhere. You know what I mean?
you know,
Which is
that's it.
but
You know,
but that's the thing about it too. Like it's very tough for non-wrestling minds to run pro wrestling. Simply because you're not looking at it from a perspective that everybody else is looking at it from, which in some cases can be good, but in a lot of cases can be bad. Right, because you're not thinking about small things that other people would bring to your attention, right? Or you're not listening to those things because you know your numbers say this, and what people are trying to explain to you is go, yeah, but they only say that because of XYZ. You know what I mean? So you have to prepare for this in case this goes away, right? And you know, wrestling minds have told and would have told people years ago, hey, you should either keep these guys or create new stars from these guys before things go the way they go. That way, you've at least got the next guys up to promote, to be able to draw fans in and do all these things. There's a lot of things that just simply weren't done for whatever reason. And that's the disappointing part is because it looks like to some it's a failure on the talent's part, and that's just simply incorrect. The talent has gone out there with fans, with no fans, with, you know, every single time, and have absolutely blown the doors off each and every show that we've done. You know, and I would compare our top 20 to anybody's top 20 in the fucking world, and I would say that our roster matches up with them if we don't exceed it. And the quality of shows that we put on the last year and a half or so, I will put up against anybody's.
I think this is
No.
this is where that's where wrestling ignorance comes in, isn't it? You know,
Right.
wrestling ignorance. They can't be as good as us because they've not got that label. They've got not that much money. Blah 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 blah. You know,
Right.
these people don't know how to watch mat wrestling. You know, and the technical side of it, and they don't see past that money falling from the ceiling. You know, I've said this plenty of time. You know, WWE sit there as the pinnacle, whatever. You know, so that's what I say. You know, it is what it is. WWE is the T-Rex of wrestling.
I mean, of course,
you know?
and they put
whether
that time
they're doing it now, I don't believe so. You know, but
here's the thing with that, right? They've been around so long, and whether people want to admit it or not, when they move, when they do something, the rest of the industry follows suit. That's simply what happens, right? And that only happens if you're at the top. You know what I mean? And you've got to give credit to them, especially for their commitment to being diverse and showcasing things in a way that they haven't done in 50
they're
plus
not afraid
years.
to take chances.
And they're not, you know what I mean? Like
I sat there and watched what they did with NXT and then released NXT 2.0. But I still said to myself, why? what was seriously that wrong? You know, but they did it. And it wasn't without thinking done. You know, they must do things within like a 24 to 48 hour and just, you know, kind of thing and go, yeah, something went right with that. Let's make a change.
No, I mean, I feel as though there's probably more put into it than that, because what a lot of people don't realize is we don't really know what they're doing until it gets out, but we have no idea what was going on weeks ago, months ago, years ago. You know what I mean? So something could be brought to our attention and it seems fast, right? But this could have already been talked about 6 months ago, and they were just putting things in place. You know what I'm saying? And then when it was time, okay, boom. It seems fast because we already had this set up. You know what I mean? So we were able to transition and do everything we needed to do quickly because we already knew what we had to do. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like grocery shopping when you go with your list, right? Like, okay, we need this. I don't have to search. I know where this is. I know where that is. I know where this is. We are in and out. You know, 30 to an hour. We're out of here. So, yeah, but you have to congratulate them for doing things and taking steps and taking strides with talent, with ideas, with groups, you know what I mean, that present things in a different way than they have been, you know, for most of their time. So you've got to applaud them for that. And it's great to see a lot of that change starting to happen in the sport, you know, and that's our biggest goal, you know, for us, is to be able to bring that change as well to wherever we go. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done, you know, in a lot of companies across the country, across the globe. So by no means are we satisfied with where we're at. We're going to continue to push. We're going to continue to be vocal. We're going to continue to lead and continue to put on some of the best performances that the sport has seen.
I say I've got a few fantasy bookings myself, and I just want to see you. I'd love to see you and Walter. I
That'd
mean,
be fun.
I'd love to see you and Daniel Bryan. I
That would also
want
be
to
fun.
see you and Minoru Suzuki.
That's a personal one of mine that I want to have.
That's
The other
one for
names,
me.
the other names you mentioned are absolute greats. Danielson's a legend. Since he's come back, or since he's, you know, debuted in Florida, he's been crushing it. You know what I mean? So he's exactly who we always knew he was. And these stylistic matchups that we could have would be fantastic. The absolute brawl that me and Walter would have would be dope. The intensity.
Heath Lee.
I mean,
It's got to
teaming
happen
up
down the road, Shane. It's got to
Listen,
happen down the road.
Listen, teaming up or against him, I've never gotten to compete against him. You know what I mean? We were supposed to, and it didn't happen. But that's something that's there too, you know. But again, like my thing is with what we've created with STP, I want the ability to be able to bring everybody in at once. You know,
I've got a bucket list sheet on my wall, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
it's got 30 matches I want to see
listen.
before I die. You're
I mean,
on that wall 5 times.
Listen, I could sit here and like I would love to be in the ring with Eddie Kingston. I would love to be in the ring with Moxley. I would love to be in the ring with an Okada, with a Naito, you know, with we mentioned Suzuki or an Ishii. Me and Cobb still have business. To have a match with Will Ospreay.
I'd love to have seen you in the ring with Shibata. You know?
You know what I mean? Like that's these matches I feel like are right up my alley. And of course you've got O'Shea, but there's so many tag teams for Khan and Moses.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? From FTR to Briscoe somewhere to the Bucks to, you know what I mean, to LFI, like I mean to Los Ingo, and now they upon LIJ. Like there's so many potential.
Like on the wrestling business, just be able to work together, you know.
If you could figure that out, man, you could have saved a lot of people a lot of money and a lot of stress.
I'd love Khan Moses to walk out on AEW and drop the Bucks on their head. You know what I mean? I'd love that.
Listen, man, like if you're gonna make a statement, you don't go after, you know, you don't go after the second string quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You go after the guy.
You go straight to the top.
Right. You go straight to the guy, punch him in the face, and go, "What's up?" You know what I mean? Like that's how you make a statement.
Wow. We're nearly done, Shane, but I got to ask you. I really got to ask you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Tarver, Lion in the Jungle. Dude, I can play that fucking anywhere. And people go to me, whoa, what the fuck's that?
Right.
I was like, this is the shit.
It's so good.
This is like the greatest wrestling theme tune ever.
And one of the things that I pride myself on as I tell the story of who Shane Taylor is and the evolution from and I saw this on Twitter, so I'm gonna steal it, but it summed it up perfectly, from being the hitman for hire to simply just being the man. Is not only the evolution of the gear, not only the evolution of how I perform, but the evolution of the music, right? And when I got my song made by TZ Scott, Monteezy, Different, it was talking about, you know, how great I knew I was, and I was tired of not being able to be seen in that light and having that chip on my shoulder. And after the successful TV title run, after creating STP, after, you know, gaining the 6-man titles, bringing my guys up with me, now we're at a point where, okay, this is no longer me being underestimated. This is me now establishing dominance of where I'm at and going, I don't need your affirmations to tell me who I am. I know who I am. Whether you want to believe it or not, that is up to you. That doesn't affect me. I know I'm the man. I've been proving it for the last 5 years. You mean I will sit here and say, even with all of the fantastic talent that we have, there hasn't been anybody putting on consistent performances like I have for as long as I've been doing it. And that didn't stop once I brought all the guys on board. It only made everybody better. And so for me, that is the case. It's like, you know, I am that guy. No matter who you want in that spot, no matter who you give all of the uh, attention to try to cultivate, no matter who you try to make in, you know, the images of the past, all of that doesn't help the fact that I'm still standing here. I'm still the fucking man. You know what I mean? And now we're in a position where we get to prove that somewhere else, you know, and I'm excited for that challenge. I'm excited to be able to finally truly have the opportunity to do that without without people trying to hang over my head and suppress what it is that we're doing. So it's going to be a fun time.
I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait. Let's just ask you one more thing.
Of course.
Xbox, dude. Xbox. This man loves the dubs. He's gonna get them dubs.
It's all about PlayStation.
How bad do you love Warzone?
I've actually been on this 2K kick for a while, trying to grind my player to get to level 40 so I can get this legend status. So I actually just was running with my boys before this. Shout out to the Crown Kings. But yeah, man, Warzone is dope. Like, coming from a military family, of course, nothing really transfers to the game, but strategy, being tactical, blowing shit up, you know what I mean? Like, that's always fun. That is my personality to a T. You know what I mean? Like, find your way to attack and then blow shit up. You know what I mean?
That's it. Rushing them targets.
Absolutely. So, man, and then with 2K, you've got the ability to be able to be just as tactical, break things down, look at your opponents, pick out weaknesses and things like that. So all of these things
my son's a Cleveland fan.
Yeah, he's smart man.
Son's a Cleveland fan.
Smart man.
Dad, LeBron's gonna come home again one day.
Listen, he might own the Cavs one day.
You know, because we're like Liverpool fans over here, and LeBron James owns a 10% stake in Liverpool Football Club.
See,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. Didn't they just win?
LeBron James has got his own lines, right? Clothing lines, and everything out in the UK.
The man is. I mean, people can say what they want. Well, he didn't go to college. He made $100 million out of high school. What did you do? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Let's be real. You know, that's my same problem when people talk about like Floyd Mayweather, and they'll be like, "Oh well, Floyd can't read." I go, "Does that make you feel good to try to like belittle the man who's made billions of dollars beating?"
To read. He pays people to read for him.
Like, listen, the man can read a contract. The man can, you know, like, he made $200 million in 40 minutes of work. Fuck are you talking about? Like,
that's what I'm saying. People, the world's just full of fucking hate. The world's just full of hate. They don't like what, because other people do what you can't do. And it ain't you can't do it. It's just too fucking lazy.
Exactly. There is. Draymond Green was telling a story about Kobe Bryant, and I guess Draymond was getting upset at the fact that there were people who were kind of taking his passion and, you know, manipulating that for anger or anything else like that. And Kobe told him, he was like, "Look, man, you can't expect people to understand the level of greatness that you're trying to achieve, because they're stuck in mediocrity. They can't fathom what it is you're looking at, what it is you're trying to ascend to, because that's not even something that they can tangibly even think about. So it seems crazy to them that you would even believe that you could do that, right? So you can't expect them to understand, right? Because only people like you who have that same mindset are going to understand that, right?" And when I heard that, it put so much stuff into perspective. Like, you simply can't be you're never going to be criticized by someone who's doing better than you, right? Only worse. You know what I mean? So knowing that, and knowing that there's just so many people out there that simply don't understand that you can be passionate about what you do, wanting it to be the absolute best it can be, and wanting all of the reasons you do it for to work and be successful, and simply want it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for those that do understand that, it's an absolute great thing to bring them that. And for those that don't, the message wasn't for you anyway.
That's it.
So we're going to continue to do what we do.
That's it. Right, Shane, this has been... It is, I mean, it's there, sir. It's there for me. I mean, much respect as always, much love, much respect. Whatever, sir, comes your way is well earned, justified. SCP people,
Yes,
it ain't
sir.
going away. It's just getting fucking started.
Yes, sir.
And if I don't tell you, this man will tell you. Shane, where can we find you?
At Shane216 Taylor. That's Twitter and Instagram. Check out the links in the bio for all of your merchandising purchases. We're getting towards the holiday season with everything going on. Anything that anybody wants to pick up would be greatly appreciated. All of my guys as well are on there. Any tweet of mine, I'm sure they'll be tagged in it, or you'll be able to see them there. Follow them as well. Go to the Pro Wrestling Tees, go to the What a Maneuver stores, go to the ROH shop while you still can, and just show your love and support. It's been absolutely incredible so far, and everybody is waiting with anticipation to see what the next move is. And so for us, we are going to sit down with some people, make some calls, have some meetings, take the rest of the year to sort of game plan what we want to do, and then become the beginning of the year, absolutely make anybody pay, that doubted who we are. So it's going to be fun. Yeah, you're safe.
I'm safe.
You're safe.
Sorry, you're making damn look, people.
For real.
Right, Shane, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. People, we are the Straight Up Wrestling Podcast. We don't bring you dirt sheet news. We bring you facts.
Absolutely.
Ciao for now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.